Hey guys, welcome back to One Too Many, the podcast where Harry hates to be on the podcast of One Too Many.
Jesus Christ. Just making changes when he's not here.
Is that? Yeah, pretty much. That's how it works. I think that's how we done it. I think that's the intro. We're here today with my father.
Senior edition.
I am fucking terrified.
Daddy Armitage.
Daddy Armitage is here. He's a fucking interesting character. Him and my mum are like number one fans. They're fucking all about all this.
Fucking
They're super supportive. But he's got some stories that we're gonna get into. It's gonna be great. But yeah, like tell us like a bit of yourself. What are you doing now, and just everything like that.
A bit of that is because my parents are always supportive of me.
Yeah, that's true.
They grew up same sort of thing. So they were always really supportive of me.
Okay, my grandpa gonna watch this one.
It depends on how many C-bombs you guys drop.
No C-bombs.
Yo,
no
I'm
C-bombs.
so bad at it.
That's
I'm
it?
so bad at it, man. Like, I don't know what it is.
You're getting better. There's only one last episode.
Yeah.
Was it? No.
Yes, it was within the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, and you know, he beeped it out. He
I
beeped
bleeped
it
it
out.
out.
I got it.
Yeah, nice.
Good luck bleeping that episode with Brandon out, though. That was like...
We had a good laugh about it. There's just like bleep after
Again,
bleep
it's a
after
bad influence of Brandon.
Yeah.
Bro,
At the
that
bottom of the
edit-
barrel like that. So
Oh man, you should if you were a fly on that wall in that edit room, like in Harry's bedroom,
Oh
while we were
my
editing that
God.
video. Oh my god!
It was like a whole lot of effort.
We cut like probably half an hour. Out
Like
of
we
that.
all started crying at one stage. Like it was
Yeah.
just so funny, but we had to cut all of it out. Like
It was too much. Just too much banter.
couldn't have it on there.
That's right.
But no, so we got that in. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. What do we want to get straight into it? You brought some mystery drinks for us.
I did bring a mystery
And
drink.
you
I bought two, but one of them's...
This is the real one. This is the real mystery. And you, what's the story with this drink?
Okay, so this one is... So
Make
I
sure
grew up-
you bring
okay.
that mic a little bit
All right,
closer.
sorry. So I grew up in country town, Armidale, New South Wales.
Yep.
And
Boo.
obviously very colourful. We'll get into that later on. And it's... So obviously country town, not a lot going on. Had your drinking of... now you're talking... Now I'm 52, so you're talking a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And so obviously the drinks you used to steal out of your parents' things was a few beers and, you know, then as you said, you graduated to Bundy rum and Jim Beam.
Worked your way up the shelf.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Whatever you can
way to
steal
put
out of your
before
mum's
that,
purse.
something that just sprung into my mind when sort of over the last few weeks coming back in here was this drink is like a wine that as a kid you would get and it would keep you warm. And I remember sitting around the fire drinking it. It tastes terrible. To be honest with you, from memory. And I got to be honest with you, I haven't had it since I was probably about 16, 17, so a lifetime ago.
So what is it?
It is actually what they call stoned dry ginger wine. And
What?
Are these all the same?
No, I thought you were drinking the other one.
No.
I'm
I'm
happy with drinking the other one because the other one's great.
That
Get him
smells
a-
so good though. It
Yeah.
smells like ginger beer.
It is. Well, that's what I said. You can bring the bottle out if you want to.
Yeah,
It's just
can you bring the bottle, Yaz?
But I remember sitting around campfires and
Drinking this.
our parties and drinking this was one of the things early days.
Yeah.
And obviously then we had to set up the scales to the rums and the...
It smells like a gingerbread man.
And as I said, it's ginger wine.
That's like mead.
Part of the thing was it would keep you warm. You didn't have to cool it or anything like
Yeah.
that because it was cold as hell
Yeah.
when we were sitting around the campfires and Armidale and all that sort of stuff. And to be honest with you, and what I remember most about it, it made me sick as a dog because you used to drink so much of it. And
Did Harry get one?
then
Yeah, I got
you get the candles. The bottles were unique at that stage, and you'd get the candles and make candles in it. But
So
I don't. It's not a skull drink. You sip it. It is a wine. I actually don't drink wine, but
Really?
no, I don't do a wine drinker.
That's like challenge accepted.
Thought
Yo.
Well, as I said, yeah, okay.
cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh no, he's gonna skull it. Oh, I thought you were gonna skull it. Cheers.
Got to get a good taste of it.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck, that's terrible.
I told you. That's what I said. I didn't talk it up. Didn't want to talk it up.
God.
It tastes like gasoline, bro.
It's like weirdly sweet, thick, but not.
That's
It
it.
smells so much better than it tastes.
Yeah.
It's so much better than it
And
tastes.
hence the reason it was actually known now. I'd say it was. We used to call it paint stripper.
No shit.
That's
No
Oh.
shit.
And it was like $12 or something. No, that
It was
wasn't
like a $12 bottle when I went in the dance today.
Yeah, that's goon.
It's ginger beer goon.
That was it. Instead of having the big flagon, that's what we had. We just sitting around the campfire drinking that. And
Yeah, well, I'd
and
like to say times have not changed at all.
it doesn't taste any better
No.
40 odd years later. You know,
That's wild.
Yep. Anyway,
Thanks, Jason.
didn't quite scull that. Okay, all right. Forget I said anything. So that was that. It was, but you didn't have to cool it. It would make you warm, and obviously it's like anything else, you get used to it.
I'm feeling quite warm at the
But
moment.
it doesn't taste any better.
You guys just had no whiskey, huh?
No, well,
couldn't afford it.
You got to remember, this is like 16.
I feel like this is
Hey,
the
yo, they're
equivalent of
stealing this, bro.
You're paying the guy to go and buy get me just a Stones, mate. Or it was either that or it was the Passion Pot.
I feel like this is like
It just-
the equivalent of Little Fat Lamb. Little Fat Lamb of this generation.
It does remind me of Little Fat Lamb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
haven't
that's like
tasted it.
I haven't had
yeah.
a little fat yet.
No.
I've never had it, but I just know the fucking
It's like thick.
18-year-old girls and
It's
we're hanging out.
wine, and that's what I'm
It-
saying.
it-
It didn't
Look,
say, that's why I didn't
as
talk
you
it
chug
up.
it, you can definitely taste the wine, and then you can taste the paint stripper as well.
Yeah, and that's what it used to be known as paint stripper. So yeah, that was one of my earliest memories. Apart from, as I said, then we went to the standard Bundaberg rum, and I pretty much haven't drunk that since I was about 17. Because again, bad experience.
Well, no, so when did you start drinking then, Jason?
18. As you were I never was responsible.
So wait, when did you start drinking, and then when does Grandma and Grandpa think you started drinking?
No, Grandma and Grandpa, no, that's fine. I've had confessions with them, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I was 15 or so.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I first remember. Sort of started going to parties and that whole thing where you'd sneak a couple of beers out of Dad's fridge and off you'd go and thinking you're all that and all that sort of thing at that age.
I can say I never did that. I was very good. I was a good kid.
But I didn't have a lot of beers.
What a loser.
didn't
I
have
know.
a lot of beers.
I didn't
I don't drink a lot. And to this day, seriously, this is the first drink I've had in probably weeks.
a few weeks, yeah.
I just don't drink a lot.
I didn't start.
Yeah, so what happened?
Yeah.
As I said,
along
Zach's
the way?
bad habits is his mother. I keep telling you. If she wants to defend herself, she
I-
can come and
I
say
have-
different.
no.
I had my first drink when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And I got caught the night I did it. Mum caught me.
Yeah.
I had Jack Byrne and Jeremy over. Oh no, and Justice. And we were drinking Woodstock. We had like a four pack of Woodstock or something like that.
I don't mind Woodstock, eh?
I hate it now, but like we went and had drinks
drink
in my
Woodstock.
bedroom. It was great. Nothing happened. Didn't even get drunk. And then Mum fucking somehow just knew. She had a motherly instinct.
She's
she
got
said.
She's got motherly
bullshit.
and wifely instincts. It's just, I'm telling you. So,
Maybe we should ask him the question that we're
question?
discussing.
Oh,
before.
yeah.
yeah, go for it. What's
All
the
right.
question?
Got a question for you. We've been having this debate for the last
Aaron got in
4
trouble.
hours.
Okay.
Well, maybe not in trouble, but she definitely felt some type of way about my answer. But,
I think you have to like modify the question a bit.
okay, so how would I modify it? All right, so
me and Jack.
you say it. You go. You say
Alright,
it.
would
Because I
you-
don't know
alright.
how
What are you
you
scared
would modify
for,
it.
dude?
No, I don't know how he means
no,
modify it. Like,
No, like instead of homies, it's me and Jack.
Just ask the question.
oh, okay, yeah, okay,
Rip the
cool,
Band-Aid off,
cool.
you'll be
All
right.
right,
Say me because I'm the favorite.
Okay, all right. So,
Jake's my brother, by the way.
Yeah,
Your
Jason
dad
needed
laughed
to,
when you said the favorite.
yeah, Jason
Yeah.
needed to defend himself.
so would you ever snitch on Jake or Zach, or
As in go to jail for 10 years.
and go to jail for 10 years, or cheat on your wife?
Right.
Right.
Gee, man, I mean, like we've been together for like ever.
Like-
You've been around a lot less.
I like that answer.
It's so true.
Like, you know, I chose to be with her. You just happened.
Actually,
We chose each other, you know.
I was the planned one. I was planned. I know that.
Yeah.
You didn't want me, but I was
It's a
planned.
good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think. My first thought was to think of what would Mum say.
Yeah. Well,
I know that Mum doesn't want the kids to go to jail. Where I'm going.
I think
What are they going to jail for?
Does that play a big factor for you though, or just the fact that they were your
Well,
kids?
it's-
Like, you know.
Tax evasion.
Oh no, they're not.
Hey,
going to jail.
yo.
Hey, why you hanging on my dirty laundry, bro?
Tax evasion. They're doing 10 years
that's
white
really
collar.
tough, man. That's tough because I just couldn't. That's a hard one, man. Because I don't want my kids to go to jail. Obviously,
I think
I don't want my kids to go to jail for anything.
on it,
But
I think Mum would be like, nah, take one for the team, go hard.
yeah, she probably would. She wouldn't
No
want
pun
you. But she
intended.
wouldn't want you. it'd be quick. She wouldn't want. He got it.
Did that just happen? Is that when that penny dropped just then?
She wouldn't want the boys to go to jail. She couldn't handle it, so she'd probably tell me to take one for the team.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm taking one or she's, but yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah,
No, Jason would never. All right, this is bad for Jason. He hates it.
it's a
Bad.
lose-lose for me, dude. Because either way,
That question in itself is a loser.
I let you go to jail. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I do the other thing. I'm in
trouble.
trouble. So how's that a win for me?
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's true.
no.
No, it's good. It's a good question. We're arguing about it before.
Yeah, it's because you don't want your kid. Like as I said, I think what makes it easier is, what makes it harder. Sorry, is because as much as it hurts me to say, you boys aren't pricks. You know, pretty much you're good kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They've always been good kids for us.
Clip it.
It really hurts because our whole family thing, particularly between the four of us, we just take the piss out of each other all the time. So, but. They're good. Oh, wow.
You guys are a pretty
They're good
close
kids.
family, man.
Yeah, we are.
we
When
are.
I first
Yeah.
met you
boys.
guys, when I
They're good.
first met you guys, it was like big shock to me because I'm not used to that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Like, obviously you guys know everything, and I'm just not used to that. But seeing you guys,
We're
like,
definitely-
full family dynamic. You know, like
Yeah.
parents being super supportive of their children.
That's it.
Like
I think it's a lot of respect though both ways. too.
100%, bro. 100%.
As I said, so they're not
You got
like
good
bad
parents,
kids.
bro.
You're
You
not
got
out.
good
Oh, yeah,
parents.
You're not
100%.
out hurting people and
No,
or any of
of
that
course.
sort of stuff, and
No.
not making a dick of yourself and all that sort of stuff.
I've never met a dick of myself. in
Can
my
I
life.
just say, I don't have TikTok. However,
Yeah.
last night I went on a TikTok and watched videos and looked up buggerlugs and seeing you rolling around on the ground and in the
Me rolling on the
Nah,
ground.
if you want to follow me on
Yeah,
TikTok,
the
it's
TikTok
at
on
Zac.Armitage.
Lord.
Funniest thing you'll ever
going off.
see.
Yeah,
you
just
see the
going
recent
off.
one
Oh no, I don't know, man.
with the tattoo?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was a good one.
That
Actually.
leads me to my next question, though.
There
What do
you
you
go.
think about his tattoos?
Oh,
I know there's one that you definitely like.
I don't
I don't
know,
know about
to
the
be
rest.
honest with
You like the Nan one?
I like the
Yeah.
Nan one. The Nan one's just respect, and that's
Yeah.
fair enough, and I can understand that one.
Definitely.
Look, no. Again, I actually don't mind. I really don't mind. I'm not a massive fan of some of them because they look like prison tattoos, and it's going to be. But
I'm preparing for when you don't cheat on mum.
a different generation, and as I said, they're all not professional, obviously,
I don't know about that.
and all that sort of thing. When you've done them to yourself and losing bets and bits and pieces, and
But he,
but I'm not. So while I'm not a massive, obviously it's not the artwork you're looking at.
No.
No,
the message behind
doesn't.
it.
It actually doesn't disturb me when. Well, it doesn't disturb me because there is a little story or bits and pieces behind
but
it.
he says that because have you seen his tattoos?
have.
He's got on his arm. He's got a big red tribal thing here that just makes no sense.
The red tribal one was my first ever tattoo, and I don't regret it. But it was the first one. I wish it wasn't the first one.
Was it a home job?
It was
professional.
professional in the States, and I just wanted to do it, and I really liked it. That was.
I was like in
Well,
20 years ago.
It was
almost.
20 years ago, easy. And I like it. It's just nothing special.
It's
to
just,
me.
no offense. I think it's just a big ugly tribal thing.
I like that's the
bright
thing.
red doesn't make any sense.
Well, the second one makes sense because it's my family
Yeah.
crest.
Yeah.
It's the family crest of my family. And for me, with tattoos, I'd rather get something that has a meaning to it now. As I said, if I had my time again, would I have got the tribal tattoo 20 years ago? No. Not. It's nice, it's great, and all that sort of thing, but I wouldn't have got it there because I've had other things on that, particularly when it's on your shoulder like that, is that I wanted to put there. You know, I've always different tattoos in my spot of my head. Like I'd love to put a big family tree and have
That'd be cool.
names with a big trunk down to here. I don't mind tattoos. I like good work.
that'd be
I
cool.
like good work.
I know a guy, bro.
You know, guys. Yes, I said not prison tattoos. So I like really good work, and yeah. So I don't mind.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Now let's take it back a bit. Like back when
Yep.
you were so you grew up in Armidale. You were saying everything
Yep.
like that. So what was the move from Armidale to Brisbane? What made you want to do that?
So I was.
And what kind of mischief did you get up to in
I got
Armidale?
into a lot of mischief in Armidale. Armidale was a really good place to grow up. I did terrible at school. Unfortunately, did
Gets
terrible
that
at
from
school,
his dad.
and that's just
That was,
purely, but that was purely because of my attention didn't go. I wagged, and one of my best mate at the time, and all that sort of stuff. I lived 3 doors down from my high school.
Yeah.
So I would literally get up, walk out the door, walk into the yard, into the high school, and the teacher we had at that time, who was marking your roll, would see me walk in and tick me at school. So, you know, I was never an academic sort of thing. spent a lot of time. We used to have, we did sport like you guys. You guys did sport. You had 2 periods in the afternoon.
Oh, sport.
So I did sport. It was sport for me was me and my mate would go and play golf. So we'd say we play golf. So we'd take off at lunchtime. Wow, mum and dad don't know this. So we would end up at either at his place, my place, depending on where we were at. Never at the golf course.
Yeah.
No.
But we would end up at the pub playing pokies or having a beer. And
They would allow you into the pub at that age?
I was 18, dude. The last year of high school, I turned 18 early in the year. So, and he was in.
So that's a benefit. That's a benefit of being stupid. You're 18 in year 12.
Because you were 18 in
I was
year
18 in year 12.
Similar to him, I repeated a year. I
did I.
early March, turned 18. My other mate turned early 18. So that's what we'd end up doing. We'd either go to his place and play records, and just, yes, I would smoke weed at that time and all that sort of stuff.
Disgusting.
As well. You never know, but and do all that sort of thing, and then so we wouldn't do the sport, but we didn't get in trouble because we weren't hurting anybody. We weren't bad kids, or anything like that. We weren't. But we should have, as I said, and who wants golf? I don't want to go to golf.
Bro, golf's fun. we play golf. Golf's fun.
Oh, I love golf. Don't get me wrong. Play golf.
But I know when you're 18.
But then, as time went on, as I said, Armidale was a big town. As I said, it's a population and it's got a big university and a big teachers' college, and it's got private girls' schools. And
why are you laughing, bro?
He laughed when he said that.
You got a wife, bro.
private girls' schools and private boys' schools.
Looks like you might stay out of jail, bro.
Yeah, bro. Bro, white collar crime. Say what?
Man, I just got another memory of mum and dad don't know about. Oh no. But because of the group we grew up, tight knit group, a group of friends that we grew up with, and all that sort of stuff, and we would. I got really well known. My family was really well known and respected, and still are. They still there. But I was on a track where I was just not. I wasn't interested in uni, teachers' college, any of that sort of stuff. My dad was a Sparky. He offered me an apprenticeship with someone else, but he wouldn't give me a Sparky himself, purely because I watched him and my brother. We put through fought like cats and dogs, and I didn't want to do that anyway.
Yep.
At that time, because I didn't want to fight with the old man. Got too much respect for him because he was just he's my idol.
Right, he's a hard working motherfucker, that guy.
And he was just there.
You were at the Darcy thing, yeah.
And then so basically it got to the point where if I hung around Armidale too much longer, I was going to get myself arrested or in trouble for some reason. And I thought I needed to change.
Were you selling drugs or were you just doing drugs?
It was doing them. It was just smoke a lot of pot. I mean, Armidale was great. Like mushrooms. We'd go and do those.
That's sick. Do you remember what that was like? Because I've never done mushrooms, and I really, really, really want to do mushrooms.
No, as a responsible man, it was. I remember So when I was 18, when I was 18, I was a big unit at 18. Right?
Yeah.
I played football, all that sort of stuff. So when I turned 18, I actually got a job as a bouncer in the only nightclub that opened past 12 o'clock in Armidale.
Yeah, right.
Because I knew all the underage kids and everything like that. So friends of mine, these good mates of mine, we went out one day. Drove a couple of hours out of town, picked some mushrooms. I'd never had them before.
So you picked them yourself?
Yeah, you picked them yourself.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
It's not like
straight out of cow shit?
Sorry?
Isn't it out of cow shit?
Out of what?
Out of cow shit.
No. Oh, yeah, mushrooms, yeah. That's it. But Armidale, yeah. So where you grew up, yeah, it is. So why thought
it was a stupid question.
Well, they actually picked them and all that sort of stuff because I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, so they made up a tea. They said, "Are you going to have some?" This is I'll try. Of course I will. Man, had a sip of this tea. I don't know how much I had. It wasn't much and all that sort of stuff. And I went to the nightclub. My job was basically because I knew we'd have you'd have 2 doors that open up, a tunnel, and then you got stairs go up the club. So my job was to stand at the bottom of these stairs and pretty much just check everyone's ID, tell everyone they couldn't come in because who was underage. Now make no mistake, I was a big unit, but I can't fight for shit at all. Been in a lot of fights, but I'd worn more punches than I'd given.
Yeah, fair.
And I went to work and I was fine. No worries. A little high, a little buzz. It was great. No worries. Until they walked in. My mates walked in about 4 hours later, and that's when I lost it just laughing. I just could uncontrollable laughter. And I meant to be a serious bouncer on the door. It was good fun, dude, but like I said, it's a risk. I don't want to sound like a dad, but I am. It's
just don't go to work on drugs, bro. What do you mean?
I sound like a hypocrite because it wasn't. It's not.
It sounds like you did it the worst way possible.
That was it. Well, I didn't know, and I walked in, and they were just cracking up, and we just lost it. to the head security guy came over and said, "What's your problem?" I told him. He said, "Just go and hide upstairs, and wait for the fights." And it was fine. I just went upstairs and hid in the corner, and nothing bad happened. And then I came down. But like I said, it's. I look back now and thinking, I said the responsible dad thing. It was dangerous. Not irresponsible. It's dangerous.
Yeah, of course.
It's
obviously being a bouncer at a club, being on drugs.
I was 18 as I said, and I was just partying with my friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there was some wild fights at that place, like wild fights, and
Armidale was like,
it was
old country town. Like, what a fucking.
It was a big town, dude.
And just being the only club, you know.
Well, at those times, it was the only club open past 12 o'clock.
Yeah, okay,
early. So you're talking 1988.
Yeah,
that's how long ago.
So dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Red Flintstone.
Like I said, this is the senior admission. To the point where this was the place where the main place was on the actual main part of town, and they had a big veranda, but they ended up having to put chicken wire around it so that people would stop throwing glasses and all that sort of stuff on
That's
the road.
crazy.
Things like that,
that's crazy.
And you'd get a lot of guys come in from out in the bush and want to test you because you're a bouncer. And my job was to go for it, stand back. And these other guys that we had there that were just brawlers, had these.
Yeah, all right, cool. There's Darren in there, guys.
Well, one guy was called Snowy. He was the big Islander dude. He was like 7 foot tall, and his mate. I don't know what they called him. I can't remember his name. But he was basically his twin, but he was white as. They were big units, 7 foot tall.
Yin and yang, bro.
That was basically, it was like yin and yang. It's exactly right. So I grew up there. So the idea of moving eventually came. There was nothing there for me, like in Armidale, apart from mum and dad and the family. And I just thought that I was going to get myself down the track. Was going to get myself into trouble.
Brad moved there to Brisbane first.
Brad had moved,
which is Dad's brother,
Brandon's
uncle, Brandon's
uncle.
dad.
Yeah, he was. He's like 8-9 years older than me.
Yeah.
So he was. Yeah, he'd moved up there a while back, and I went up there, and that's when I moved to Brisbane. Just thought, I've got to get out of town, see what else is happening, and moved out of town and moved up there, and that's still here. As I said,
So you were 18 when you moved to Brisbane?
18, 19, yeah. 89 is when I moved up, so I just turned 19.
What was Brisbane like at that time?
It was like a big country town, man, compared to now. That's what it was. I had no interest in. A lot of my friends, because moved to Melbourne and Sydney, sort of thing. I just didn't really have an interest in going to those. Because
that was the big cities back then.
Oh yeah,
but back here, this was not massive.
No, not big. It wasn't big at all. And it was, and as I said, Brad was up here, and I liked the sunshine. It was good. Armidale's cold and a beautiful place and everything.
It's so cold there.
It's cold.
So cold.
And then moved up here with Brad, and I ended up moving into a house with him, and he had his mates, and they're all like guys that I knew that were his friends, like 10 years older, and just parties, dude. It was just like took me under the wing, and just they were on a whole other different level at that time. Yeah, like 10 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
And, settling. They would all have the girlfriends and settling down and having a good time, and up then we'd play a lot of indoor cricket at Milton, which is now not there.
Yeah,
and that was great fun. These guys would just sit there and they would just badger people. Like, it was great fun. Heads out to the Headley Jobsons, which is a long time ago. Headley Jobsons is the name of the team, and these guys were just talkers, and they're all from the country, and they're just talkers, and Phil and Muzz and Fivey and all those guys, and Brad was a target though. My brother Brad,
he has been punched so many fucking times. I've heard
he's a target. He got hit.
I didn't know about this.
He got hit square in the nose by the cricket ball from being a wicketkeeper in the out there, and I wasn't there for this one, but they ended up. He just. He destroyed his face. He's been hit in the face. He just gets hit.
That's why.
Don't laugh at that, bro. What do you mean?
He steps in to try and thinking he's doing the right thing to help out. I remember one day
go back. So there was a fight.
No, he got hit with the ball.
No,
bro.
he got hit with the ball in the nose. He's a target. There was a fight. One year they went to the Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I didn't go. I was only like 18, 19. I just didn't have the money to go. All the boys walk in. I said, "Where's Brad?" I said, he's coming. And here he was. His just noses out here, just smashed. And he said, well, what happened? He said, such and such had something to some guy's girlfriend, and I just stepped in to say, hey, guys, let's just all get on. And then all of a sudden, he's laying on the ground. Because he was a target.
Brad's such a nice guy.
I couldn't imagine him in a fight.
He just wants to help. That's it. He's just like that. He just wants to help.
But he didn't really drink that much though back then. Even now he doesn't drink really.
He doesn't drink now. He didn't drink a lot. We've never been big beer drinkers or anything like that.
No.
So, But yeah, no, Armidale was good. It, it served its purpose. I had a really good time growing up. Played a lot of, a lot of sports, a lot of football. As I said, the old man and mum were just there,
Yeah.
for all the chaos that I did. And Dad, Brad and my sister got a sister as well, Katrina. Shout out.
Yeah.
She's 7 years older than me. They sort of moved out of home, so it was mum and dad and I at home, and the old man would work his tail off, dude. And that's where the work ethic came in that I've got. And
Hell yeah.
I want to say him as well, to a degree, although. The work's changed.
Drinking beers is my job.
If this is work, yeah, okay, rightio.
It's a pretty good job. It doesn't pay the best.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say,
well, Harry doesn't get paid at all. Yeah.
So he's still got a job though. He's not fired. We haven't fired him this week.
We get paid in fun, man.
But let's go.
Yeah.
I'm back on the Armidale stuff as well. I want to hear. I want you to tell the story. I've heard the story as well. I've heard 90% of these stories. But I want to hear the story about when you crashing the cars, Grandma and Grandpa's car.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Which one? Hear that?
I've got two
Which
stories.
one?
One's me, one's my brother Brad. But I crashed. Mum and Dad lent me the car. Of course they would. Which one are you talking about?
Well,
before I drop
I
drop myself into another
So
one.
I know two of them. I know the one that you went. Just wait.
Yep.
You're gonna restart that, yeah. I know so I know one of them.
I thought you were meant to do confessions.
No,
I
no,
want
no.
Zach to do confessions at some point. I wanted to confess something to me that I don't know. Now I'm doing all
The
the
problem is
confessions.
I'm sure that's going to happen at the end of this. I'm sure that's going to happen.
No, so I know the one that they were away for the weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And you
yeah.
crashed.
That's
Was it the Rocky?
The Rocky. So
Yeah.
I grew up, again, Mum and Dad were away at the tennis, the Australian Open down in Melbourne. And we had Mum and Dad had put the car in, the Rocky that Dad was very proud of, to
Beautiful
put
car.
a brand.
Love the Rockies.
So Dad put Mum and Dad put the car in to get a brand new bull bar and side sort of steps put on it. And they hid the rest of the keys. So they thought everything was nice and safe. However, the people that were actually smash repair people who were very good friends of ours returned the car and left the keys. So I was on my L plates, and I said and we had an exchange. I had a student, because of the university out there. We sort of rented out a room to one of the students.
Yeah.
And I said to her, she had a full. I said, "Come on." I talked her into basically coming for a drive. She goes, "No." I said, "Come on, Nicole, let's go." Put the dog in the car. Put my next door neighbour in the car, Anthony. And off we go.
Anthony, fucking hell.
We're just driving down the freaking road, going past the people who actually just dropped the car off to us in the back of the thing. And at the end of the street is a dirt road, and it's a 90-degree angle.
Yep.
I've come down there, and it's a Rocky. It's not even like turbo. I'm flogging it. It's
Rocky's a very short wheelbase full.
short Daihatsu. It's a Daihatsu Rocky full, so it's a full
yeah.
drive. So and they're top heavy. They sway, and of course I think I'm all that. I'm on my L's. I know what I'm doing. I'm driving down the road, come around the corner. Of course, lose it as it hit the dirt because I'm going too fast in that thing, and then it's a 90-degree. So I turn, and then I corrected it again, hit a mound, rolled the car.
Fuck.
So
They just put a bunch of money.
just
in
put a
getting
bunch
that
of money
car.
in the car, getting it done, and I've rolled it. Only saving thing from me was that I actually did have a proper licensed driver with me, as much as she was screaming. And I looked out, and basically where I landed though, there was a big mound. So when I landed, I was thinking the side of the car was in it, but there was a big mound. So I'm looking here, the driver's side door's just there, and I'm going, "Oh, this is not good." Nicole's there, hanging there. Look out the back. My mate's kicked the back door in. He's out with the dog. And I'm hanging here. And the only way I could get out was you had to kick the roof. They had a sunroof so you can kick it out.
Yeah.
Got out. Let her go and all that sort of stuff. But by the time I got out of the vehicle, the smash repair friends of ours, shout out to the Killins again, Armidale.
They're caught up.
Yeah, no, they're still there. I put that family through paying their bills a fair bit. Our family did. And then they got there and they go, "You're okay?" You stand thinking, yeah, I was right. What happened? I said, "I was driving. Lost it. You just gave you the car.
What
What
happened?
Lost
Drift?
it.
What happened? Drift? No.
Fucking lost
No
it.
drifter. Anyway, so got the car up on its wheels, and they go, "All right, we're going to have to take it back to the shed." I said, "Can you get it fixed by Monday when Mum and Dad come in?" So there's no way hell. The brand new bumper bar, I think, the brand new bumper bar is not damaged, not bent. It had hit a barbed wire fence. It was scratched to shit. It was done. That was probably one of the very first times I actually really remembered disappointing my parents. That was a hard phone call to make that night. I had to make a decision because the next door neighbour Came over, who's Nancy, love her, no longer with, love her. She's the only lady that ever washed my mouth out with soap as a kid, Nancy.
That's a
I used to get that all the fucking time.
All the time.
I hated it.
Did you get soap in your mouth?
No, they used to get a bar of soap and put it in your mouth. Yeah.
Like if you swore,
Yeah.
then like you got a dirty mouth.
I used to get chili.
Really?
Not so.
I feel like that's a bit far.
Yeah, so that's the only lady. Anyway,
Someone putting
Funny,
chili in my mouth, bro. I'm nah.
Bet he's not swearing though.
Hey,
that's
no,
it. No,
that's what I'm swearing now, bro. No one,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
no one
We're
puts chili in
gonna
my
share,
mouth now, bro.
Thanks, guys.
came over, gave me the lecture, and I just had to get some. I had to decide whether I disappoint mum and dad when they get in the house and come home. Hey, you've had a great trip. Sorry, this happened. This is why your car's on the driveway. Or do I tell them before that? So I let them have their day at the tennis. I knew they were coming home the next day. I told them that night, so they had the day to sort of. And they calmed down a bit.
Yeah.
Mum and dad were great. They weren't bear it. They didn't bear up on me or anything like that.
No, they were like disappointed.
Just
They
more
were
happy that you
disappointed.
were out
happy
there.
that we were all okay. But then, learn a lesson. But then don't get me wrong, they lent it to me 12 months later, and I ran out the back of another car and just about totaled it. So
Jason, I don't think you should be driving.
that's all.
Hopefully you've calmed down over the years, you know.
This is the advantage of having an older brother who's a few years older. Not in your case, you're in trouble because Jake
I
doesn't
know.
drive.
I'm the older brother.
Yeah,
Here.
no. Brad was like, as I said, 8 years older than 9 years older. So he wasn't until he was in his, as I said, he was. I remember we're sitting around his 40th birthday, and he confessed to mum and dad because I remember Brad.
Oh my god, yes.
He came around and he crashed. Mum and dad crashed mum and dad's car at the Lookout in Armidale, which is where all you used to go. And I was sitting, and Brad was in his 40s. He had sat around the corner. He was really iffy, and he admitted to mum and dad that he didn't crash the car. The girl that he was trying to get with at that time, who he was thinking teaching, crashed the car.
Bro,
And
Brad sounds pretty
in his
smart,
40s.
man.
Yeah, dude. And he was scared in his 40s to tell mum and dad that he didn't like to disappoint his parents, But as I said, so my sister and my brother really broke the ice for me being 8 years old.
See, I don't have that. My brother was a goody two shoe.
No,
That's some bullshit.
it's all right. So it was, as I said, Armidale was a really good place to grow up. It had a lot of space around and all that sort of thing. So
For sure.
it was good. But I was going to get I think I was going to get myself in trouble. And I had my time again, I think that's the only regret I got is that, and I think I was talking earlier on.
Yeah, didn't do that apprenticeship.
I didn't do an apprenticeship. The old man offered me one that he wasn't going to do it with him, but he could have got me an apprenticeship doing pretty much anyone I wanted to because he knew all the tradies in town.
Yep.
And it's pretty much the only regret I got because, while I've landed myself a really good job now and I love it, it's one of those things to have that behind my back at the time.
That's why I'm better.
Well, you always want your kids to do better than what you've done. And I feel like as well, I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Hey, I've never crashed your car. Just saying.
You crash your own. That's
No,
right.
but it's not my
someone
fault,
else.
not my fault.
I don't know.
Hey, man.
I don't know what's up. I just don't think any of your family should be driving.
No.
This is
All right, L-Plate Harry over there.
Yeah. Oh.
just hit my P's.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hey.
That's a proud moment.
I've been driving for a while, but I had to get a license eventually.
That's crazy.
No,
That's very nerve-wracking.
That's all right. No, it was definitely not a great driver at that. Which pretty much you think you know it all, don't you?
No, that's you got that that confidence.
I was 18. Again, that was that part of being in high school, having 18. I mean, I only rolled the car one night with all my mates in it. I had about in that same car, and I nearly rolled it one night, and I was driving them home sober. That was one of the things I've never sort of been doing is being a drink driver at all. It's one of those even in the early days. None of
That's
that.
good.
So I don't know whether it's a good thing because a lot of the mistakes I made, I was sober. So it's not like
That's where we're different. All my mistakes when I was fucked up.
I mean driving mistakes.
No, I'm drive.
Yeah, anyway, so I remember vividly one night, as I said, I nearly rolled it and just had a bunch of mates in the car and the 5 in the back and in the very back tail. And
Hey, man, when I got my license too, I was hooning
You're confident, bro.
Yeah,
It's just like
you're confident.
You're like, I can't die. This is great. That won't happen to me.
That's it.
That's how it goes.
Now I drive like a grandma though. Like I can't lose my license now. Like if I get fined now, I lose my license for a year.
Well, it's when he turned 18 and he was one of the first ones to get the license in your school. It was like, you got this responsibility.
Yeah.
And you go, you like having your freedom. You don't want to catch again. You don't want to catch the bus, dude. Because if you lose your license for stupidity, Your mum, and you're certainly not going to get any sympathy from me, let alone your mother.
No.
You know, it's funny
fuck
that
you.
you say that because like I actually don't mind catching the odd bus now.
Fucking hate
Because
it,
I'm
man.
like, I'm so sick of driving. I hate driving everywhere now. Like, I'm fucking over it. So every now and then when I get on a bus, I'm like, oh, this is alright.
Nah,
Man,
fucking
I,
hate it.
Alright.
so my current job, you know what I do.
Yeah.
I work in the traffic there. I talk to bus drivers. Your brother hits me up today. I don't know if he told you this story.
I haven't talked to him.
So I'm at work today. Your brother hits me up. Hey, Dad, just got to Garden City bus depot, and there's a guy passed out in the lift. And where I work, I'm right next to the guys. Where my job is, where I work, is I'm right
Standard,
next to
bro.
the people that have all the cameras. Yeah.
Standing,
Legit-
bro.
This was like, I can't remember. So it was.
You got trapped in the lift and had an anxiety attack. I
8
feel
o'clock
it.
in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning. He was passed out in the lift, and I just walked over and said, "Hey guys, this, that," and like, "Yep, okay." Yep, there he was, big puffer jacket, passed out in the lift. At Garbo for
Just going up and down.
He wasn't passed out for medical reasons. It was just
Alcohol.
big night. you
That's
know,
funny.
That's it. So
He was a bus driver?
no, he
No,
wasn't.
it
a
was
bus
just
driver.
it was just someone.
Whoa,
I was like, oh.
that would have been funny.
I was like, wait, he's a bus driver?
That would have been. That actually would have been funny. No. He's no, it wasn't a bus driver. So that would have been funny though.
That would have been good.
That would have been good. That would have been funny.
But yeah,
yes.
so
You ever pass out in a lift?
I had to think about that. No,
He did have to
No,
think
no.
about it. That's crazy that you took that long
That's a
to
very
answer that
specific
question.
place to pass out as well.
I know, but like,
Oh yeah. Tell me, places you passed out apart from when was it Borthy who came?
I've
What's her
had-
name? Came out in the
yeah.
street.
That-
Proud
that-
dad moment.
yeah, that
Thanks
was,
very much.
That was the worst one. I'd passed out in the.
In the,
We went cobbing. We
I
got
remember
we got in the cob at like 9 p.m. Early ads, right? I got kicked out by 9:30. Within half an hour, I was out.
were you having? Did you have starters at the house?
I had a few.
Yeah. Okay.
Had a fair few.
Were you living there at the time?
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, he was. And then so what happened?
I'm just here.
So what happened was there was I was fucked up. I got kicked out. It wasn't an unusual thing for me. I get kicked out every night. Every fucking night I get kicked out. And then I was like, I don't remember going to the valley either.
So much like your mother.
Yes.
I remember pre-drinks, and then I don't remember getting into any. I don't remember. Basically, I remember pre-drinks, and then I remember the end of the night. So got kicked out. Basically, what I remember was I woke up. No, I didn't even wake up. I fucking came to walking down Chinatown at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was just walking down Chinatown, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Where am I? I just kind of came to randomly. And I was like, fuck, what time is it? And I look, I'm like, fuck, where's my phone? Fuck, where's my wallet? I was smoking at the time. I'm like, fuck, where's my brand new pouch?
You seriously lost your phone so many times.
Bro, and I was like, where the fuck is everything? I didn't know what time it was. So I went to a random guy and was like, what time is it? It was like 3:30 in the morning. So I went from 9 o'clock till 3:30 in the morning. No idea what the fuck happened. Somehow I looked up and then I found our friend Midday. Just out of nowhere, I looked up, Midday was there in front of me. And I was like, holy fuck, this is fucking perfect. And I was like, please call Aaron right now. I called Aaron. He's in the same fucking club as where I left him. You and Jesse.
You had a good night?
You went, yeah. You
Must
went,
have been.
You and Jesse.
I was still in there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't even know. Like they thought I got kicked out and went home. And then Midday's like, "Hey, I got Zach here," and he goes, "They're like, holy fuck!" And we all meet up, and I'm like, "I got nothing." And then I later found out that I hadn't even met Jess and Mel at that point. I met them once, and they all found me in the gutter, passed out somewhere apparently. And I told them to get fucked, and they all left.
Proud dad moment.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so that was
yeah.
it. But back to you.
No, hang on a sec. What about you?
No, I got no stories like
You
that.
got
Yeah, actually, Jason does have a story.
Jason's got
Well,
the
we can
stories
always-
for me, bro.
Jason,
I don't
no,
actually remember that.
I remember your birthday.
I was going to say, showers.
To be fair, that
No, the shower.
no, that was funny.
We've already, no, I'm talking about when you picked him up from the valley.
Yeah, that's probably. To be fair, like I haven't had that many moments like that.
No,
like that was
no.
probably the worst one.
But again, one of those things is, and that's it, it's just that I'd rather you call me. Like I
Yeah.
said with you guys, whether you lived there, whether they didn't live there, it was always one of those things, just call me.
And this might be
I
bad to
didn't-
say, but like, bro, I could never call my parents in that situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm glad they thought to call you in that situation because I was.
Well,
bro,
no,
I
just
don't know
that-
what happened.
Number one rules is stick your head out the window like a dog, don't
I
vomit in the
had
car.
no idea what the fuck happened. I was so bad
Well,
that
that's the
night,
thing.
bro. Holy.
Declan called me and was like, "Hey, bro, this is what the goal is." I'd just gotten home
You'd got home.
because
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm tired. I was over it. I was so fucked up, and I'm going
You
home."
were an old man all the time.
But I went home, and then Declan called me. He goes, "Hey, bro, this is the go," and I was like, "Fuck!" And he goes, I think your dad's the only one that can help. And I'm like, I fucking know. Because you were trying to get in an Uber. So Aaron was fucked up. He tried to get him in 4 Ubers,
chance.
and he refused to get
No
every
chance.
fucking Uber, was vomiting on the side of the road.
No chance, bro. There's a photo of me outside Birdie's with like someone holding my hair trying to feed me water, like holding my head up, feeding me water.
Literally grabbing the hair. And then, I was like, fuck, fine. And I went and woke Dad up, and he's like, whoa, what's
You're
going
gonna
on?
drink that.
Huh?
You're gonna drink that.
You have to.
Do I?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the idea of a mystery drink.
Hey, man.
I'm going the other drink.
No, that's
Hey,
not how
man.
it works, bro.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, he was basically fucked up. Dad came and picked him up, and basically we scraped him off the side of the fucking footpath in the valley.
Yeah, you gotta. But as I said, you gotta. As a parent, it's just your whole world changes.
Yeah.
In my case, the whole world changes. You got to call me. As I said,
Yeah.
that's whether you lived there or not. Had you still called, I still would have came.
Oh, 100%.
It better
Yeah.
when I
No,
was
I
driving you back
believe
home
that,
and all that
bro.
sort of stuff because you got the core group of friends that you all were. And to a degree, you've all looked out for each other. So, I mean,
Remember the time that I called you to pick me up from the valley?
yeah, I do remember that time. That you called me. I don't know how you dialed the number from
From the police station.
the police station. Got a phone call. Coming here for a night shift. Got a phone call. Hey, Dad, can you come pick me up? So, police station in Valley. So,
No,
okay.
that was wrong.
Well,
So I said,
You'd taken something. Okay, your words were, "Someone's given me something that I didn't know about."
I was in the
As
police
if-
station.
As if yeah, I believe that.
No
But
comment.
okay.
No, so I had basically.
He didn't blame you.
No.
Hey, bro, it wasn't me, bro.
No, he wasn't there. He was in bed, bro.
Yeah,
I basically.
I forgot about that.
yeah,
I was old.
I-
I was in bed.
It's just so
asleep.
many times.
I had taken these.
Responsible.
I had taken these drugs that I had taken 1,000 times before at that point, and
Not good.
I took. You did it. I took the drugs, but then I took 4 of them, 3 of them, something like that, because I was used to taking them a lot. Sorry, Dad.
See?
Yasmin just guy.
Again.
Yeah, sorry, I was drinking. It was yuck. I wanted to give it to Yaz, and she just nearly threw up. So
Yeah, no.
Just hold your nose and send it,
Yeah.
bro, because the quicker it's gone,
I can still taste it in my mouth.
You can keep that one. It's okay.
you can take it home with you.
Donate that one to the house.
Oh my god, bro! What the fuck?
I told you. I don't know. You need to have the second one. We'll do that in a
I
minute.
don't need anything you're giving me, bro.
There's another one.
I've got a second.
Yeah.
one. So it's away.
But no.
Yeah, anyway, you got
But
the,
with
yeah,
that,
got the
I was taking these drugs and whatever, and they were laced with things that I didn't want to take. So I think it was apparently it was tryptophan and heroin. That's what I got told.
Jesus
sorry, I
Christ.
shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
I know. So it was a fucking whole other fucking thing that I was trying to take. So
I assure you,
Remember that
Jason,
time I
was
nearly
not
took
doing
heroin?
heroin at that time, bro.
no, that's
What do you
it.
mean
No.
at that time?
At that time, so I'd fucking taken these. So I'd taken this fucking pill, but I took like 3 of them, and I was fucked. And it started coming up real bad, and I was like, "Wait, this is not right."
It was
This is,
about 1 o'clock in the morning or
it
something.
was like 1, and I was, "This is not right." And I fucking ran across the road, found the police. It's like, "Fuck, what am I gonna tell him?" Hi, I've taken these drugs illegally. No, I said I got fucking spiked or whatever, and he took me to the police station. And I sat there for an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Fucking scratching at my head,
You were-
like fucking,
whole
like
thing
doing this
when I got
weird
there.
shit, like fully like junky style, like scratching at my skin kind of shit. Fucking seeing shit, like full fucked. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Because I called you, but you didn't answer. And then I called your mister at the time, didn't answer. And I had no idea what to do. And then for some reason, I don't know how, I was like, holy fuck, my dad's in town because Dad lives in Noosa. Shout out Noosa. But you got the Noosa.
I was working down here, so I was doing night shifts.
So I didn't realize you were there. And I was like, holy fuck.
Sorry.
So I called you, and as soon as you answered, and I was like, Dad had been drugged. I'm in the police station. Here's the police, and just handed the policeman the phone because that was the first word they'd spoken in an hour and a half.
But they were really good. Like
No, they were great.
in all fairness, they had they got you checked out and all that sort of stuff. And they would look, your son's
they
here.
didn't-
And he's
they didn't do anything.
Well,
They just sat-
they told me. They got the medic to come and the priest or whatever the medic
No,
to come
they-
around
The
the corner.
priest.
Well, there's the chaplain and that just around the corner in there. They got the chaplain and the medics and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff just
No.
around the corner from that police.
No, they got
station.
the
They
chaplain.
looked at
They got
Zach,
the-
bro, and they were like, "Yep, he's possessed."
They got the
Someone
they
get
got
the
the-
priest.
He's not right.
They got the chaplain to come and goes, hey, come for a walk. And I'm like, I
he-
can't move.
And it doesn't help that you suffer
I have
anxiety.
bad
You've got
anxiety.
mad anxiety. So when
That
I
is
got
very
the
true.
call, and of course it was no brainer, just going okay.
And then it came pick me up, and it came there, and it probably took like a good 10, 15 minutes for
Oh
us to
no, it
leave
was not
there.
that. So when it took 10 or 15 to get there, And then it was busy night. It was people everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just sort of had to myself, well, I'm going to fucking kill him. But we'll get him home first to do it. But obviously, again, switched in. Got to make sure he's right. Again, I've always told the boys or anyone, call me. Don't just call me. We'll worry about the consequences later on.
100%.
If you're in that sort of thing. So let's get you safe. So, but I get there and he's just in the corner. Rocking. Hey, Dad, how you going? Oh, yeah, can't stand up yet. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? And I was talking to the office. Don't get me wrong.
He was great. The officer was really
The police
good.
they didn't give a shit because in the end they knew he was going to be handled. He was fine. He wasn't causing problems. You look out the door and it's just people. Everywhere.
so many
In the middle of
fucking
it, they've got much other things. They're quite happy if.
I think he's at a quiet place.
To a degree, he showed some responsibility.
Yeah, of course.
In their eyes, sort of
100%.
thing. And the fact that parent there.
They would do with so
Oh,
much
and
in the valley.
I was on heroin, but that's cool.
So, but he was sitting there and he
Responsible.
was fine. He was. He was glazed. He was talking, all that sort of thing, and he,
But
he wasn't ready to walk yet.
I hadn't
He didn't think
spoken
he
the
could.
whole time that you
Didn't
were
know if he
there.
could walk. Didn't think he could walk. And I was sort of laying it out to him. I said, "Oh, we've got a choice of two things. When do we go? We're going to either go to the hospital, get you tested, and you're probably going to pump your stomach. You're going to be in there the night, this, that, and the other." Or because I didn't ask what he had, or and then that sort of thing. Or we're going to go home. We're just going to. You're going to sit down. You lay down. You're going to drink water and chill out. And
I didn't want to go. I was like,
well, you said you did, and then you said. Then I sort of spoke to you after because it took about half an hour to get you to the car.
Yeah.
And then got you to the car, and you go, "No, take me home."
No, but
and in the meantime, you're making phone calls.
Oh yeah, I called fucking.
Go on, you say the name or you say it. Because I'll go on, say it.
No, it's fine. I called this girl.
What's her name?
I don't want to talk about it.
Come on.
No, sorry, because I'm gonna have to bleep it out anyway.
We'd already.
Oh, we're gonna I called Carly up.
Yeah. Oh no,
And I was like, motherfucker.
hey. He's
Help
on
me
the
out.
phone, and I'm going. He's made his decision.
So this is the thing. I had spoken for the hour, and all I got in my head was I can't get a hold of anyone. I called Aaron, and I called your ex.
But Jack.
And then I
think
called
Jack was. What Jack?
No, Jack didn't live there at the time.
But he came. Didn't he?
Yeah,
He came
but
over.
then I called Jack. No, he came the next morning actually.
No, someone who was there when we got home. Then
When we got back,
was
basically
only like a 15-minute drive.
no. So
home.
basically, what happened was in that moment, I was like, I can't walk. And Dad's like, all right, well, I want to carry you, and I'm like, no, I can't. No. And then we just sat there, and I'm like. And
We just talked. We just sat there and had to
I
calm
was
him
like,
down.
already 3, 2, 1, go, and I just stood up, and we just beeline for the fucking car.
Yep.
And then got there, and we were sweet. And
Window
I'm like,
down, lean out the dog looking out the wing like a dog.
yeah, and then I
Don't
was like
comment,
sweet
you know.
there. I was like better because my anxiety went, but I was still like fucking tripping balls.
But a lot of it had to talk to you and talk to
Yeah.
you, and I was calm. I
It
wasn't.
was
yelling
good.
at you. I wasn't.
It was fine.
Calm because.
And
there
then
was no use
as
in
we
being
got closer to the house, though, started to get a bit more like angry.
Of course, though, you expect that.
Yeah,
He's
but like it was.
calling Carly.
Yeah, I was like, bitch, get the fuck over here. I need someone. And I rocked up and I fucking knock on your door, and you're like, fuck off, cunt. Like, leave me alone.
Hey!
Oh, sorry. First C word
First word of the day.
But that's what he legitimately said. And I'm like, Aaron, bro, I fucking need you right now, bro.
I remember you walked into the fucking room that night, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, I walked in and I was like, bro, I need you right now. And you're like, no, fuck off, I'm sleeping. And I'm like, bro, I need you. I'm fucking chipping balls right now, bro. I fucking need you right now.
This is 2
And
in the
then-
morning. I had to go to work at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
that's rough.
but I was like, I'm doing balls. And Aaron goes, all right, I got you. And just got out of bed and just sat outside with me and talked to me for like fucking.
'Cause I was
for like
gauging-
4 hours. We just sat outside
Yeah,
and
bro, it
talked.
was all good.
I'm still gauging whether I'm going to at that stage, I'm gauging when I'm calling in sick here. Am I going to have to keep it on him? Then Aaron got up. And
Yeah.
I'm going, okay. I pretty much walked upstairs and said, I'm going to bed,
Yeah.
guys. If you need me, come and get me.
As he gets home, you're done.
No, because
That's
he
it.
started giving me the fucking parent speech.
Well, that's it. I
And
got
I'm
home.
like, there's a fucking time and a place. It's not when I'm tripping balls, guys.
This is
neither
neither
of
of
them. I got
them.
your loan.
You don't get to pick that. You
I-
get heroin.
Yeah, exactly right.
You
I
get
didn't
the
know-
speech whenever you get the speech.
and I
Fuck
had
you.
no idea about that.
No, that was
so
the thing.
much
I
like
didn't have an idea either.
Yeah.
I found out
You
because
said you knew. Anyway.
No, I didn't know at the time.
Oh, yeah,
but then I
right.
found out afterwards because I was like, "What the fuck did you give me?" Because I knew I know the guy, and he goes, and then he's like, "Bro, like it was fucked because I having a bunch of people apparently."
He got the bag switched up, bro.
No, having a
My
bunch.
heroin bag, this my ex's
Actually-
bag, and like,
you know-
bro, I'm sorry.
And
The
again,
person that it was, he probably
He's gonna end up
did.
in
Though.
Bali.
Probably-
He's going to end up in Bali with the.
But no, that was fucked. That was not a good time.
Yeah, no, look, again, it was one of those situations.
But
it was
the good thing is, I got to be like, all right, cool. I know who to call. Like at that point, as soon as I found that you were in Brisbane, I was like, fucking no brainer. Let's go
I would've
straight
drove down
away.
anyway.
That's the
but that's
best
the
thing, though. Like, bro, you know.
No, but I
you
need to
call
like
your
quick.
dad.
I need
I know.
quick. That's why.
The thing is, yeah, it was, and it was. Yeah.
And my brain obviously wasn't working at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like I don't know if I call.
But again, it's you got to be able to. you got to be able to call someone, dude.
No,
That's the thing. In my
100%.
situation, as I said, I was lucky enough to be. I didn't have to call my parents or anything like that in that situation for whatever. But again, things get stronger and more messed up as generations go on.
Yeah, man.
Like it really does. It's scary as shit.
Yeah.
You know, as sit back here and sort of hear those sort of stories that you're telling that, and you know, people get messed up.
100%.
Drugs mess people up, man, and that doesn't. And as I said, that doesn't matter whether it's weed, mushrooms, heroin, and any other shit.
Why are you pointing at me when you say heroin, bro?
Well, heroin, as I said, I had mates. As I said, I've lost a few friends who I assume that was on it. They're no longer with us, and I've got one of my best mates who went down that path for a short thing, and he went off to his own little world for a little while, but we sort of reconnected. And he didn't go in his own world because of I pushed him away. He just went down that path, and it was a path that I was never going down, and all that sort of stuff. And now we've reconnected, and he's got a whole new life and sort of things like that. So
It's all about
and healthy. So
the lucky thing is I haven't got. I fucking hated it, my experience with it. So moved to Brisbane. We'll go back to stories. No,
Okay.
We're not talking about no dumb shit.
no, cool.
When you moved to Brisbane, and then let's talk about when you worked at your bar.
So moved to Brisbane. As I said, I was 18. As I said, gone from security, working, DJing, not DJing, sort of bouncer.
Okay, how all this is
What
on
is
camera
going
too. I've opened every single one of his beers.
The whole day.
I've changed drinks, by the way.
Yeah.
Gone for
I
the
see that.
wild turkey honey.
I can't do that straight.
Nice.
Nah,
Just
I-
straight,
I
on
can-
ice.
I
It's
can do the,
Help
I can-
yourself. If you want more, there's there.
There's some in there if you want.
It's great.
Yeah, I'll grab some.
It I'm not getting it for you.
Yeah, no. He's the star of the show, Harry.
Yeah.
I've done my bartending days, hence.
Yeah, bartender.
So moved to Brisbane, didn't have a job. You know, lived off my brother for a while. Got a job at Storman and bits and pieces of that. But eventually got a job at one of the premier nightclubs around Brisbane, which was called the Underground. So the Underground is right now at the top of Caxton. Well, it was. It's no longer about. It was at the top of Caxton Street when I worked there.
Yeah.
Where there's the cinema and the Coles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Directly opposite, I think it's Hotel LA.
The barracks.
Yeah, well, the barracks. So
Yeah.
when I started there, I got a job as a glassy there. Now, it was the place to go.
Before the games and all that.
No,
Just
just
in
matter.
general.
Just in general, people would. It was there. It was the club to go to once sort of people started getting kicked out of and leaving their Fridays or City Rowers or wherever in the city. They'd end up. That's the place they'd end up. And it wasn't because it was a great club. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And the music. Just listening to your latest, who you were talking to, with Beefy and those guys and. Data Roaming and Brothy and those guys.
That's mad.
Brothy.
Brothy,
Shut
sorry,
up,
Brothy.
Brothy.
Hey, I've never got it right once, so
everything-
Borthy,
everything-
DJ Borthy.
Yeah, DJ. It was just and we're just watching that. You talk about with those guys. It was just interesting. It sort of brought back a lot of memories because, as I said, the DJing. Parry, Chuck. My guys are Parry, Chuck, Carolina Kitchen, best ones. Go to Chuck's place.
Where's he now? He's
in New Farm. New Farm. And the guy named Peter, don't get his last name, Peter Teagan. We're just all the DJs. But back in those days, you're talking it was records and things like that. And they wasn't
Vinyl scratching and all
well,
that.
some of them wasn't. Like, don't get me wrong, they could, depending on what club you had to do. You had to keep, like Parry, for example, was a DJ, and Chuck was a DJ at the Underground we were. And you had to keep whatever was current, and you had it, and it was all sped up. And they did a really good job. Kept the dance floor going, and
back in the day, it was a lot different.
It was just great place to work. I got a job as a glassy, and shout out to Lauren. Thank you again for employing me.
Yeah,
It was
Lauren.
some of the best times I ever had. It's actually where I met his mum.
We'll get into that.
And then started as a glassy, just picking up glasses, but it was packed. Like you'd sort of got the glasses above your head, and picking them up, and you got just. People were partying
And when you're young too, working in a club.
it was
Bro,
great.
you'd have seen so much.
But
shit.
it was also the
So
place
much.
to go. The beauty of it was there was a lot of clubs, and like I said back in then, I don't even know if these places like Fridays and City Rows.
Oh, Friday still goes.
Fridays
So
still
they
It
goes,
used to go away.
They were
Friday shot.
Fridays and City Rowers and those sort of places really big, at that time, and we didn't really venture the valley too much. If we ventured the valley, it was purely because we were just in party mode, and we ended up at the Beat. There was nowhere else open at that. And,
Back then.
you're talking 89, 90 sort of thing.
Yeah.
You'd end up at the Beat, and that was it. And we didn't care who was there. Didn't worry us for this wedding. It was just a good place we were unwinding. It was either the Beat or a place called Wall Street. Now I had to hit up because I couldn't now. So we'd finish at 5 in the morning, and everywhere was meant to close off. But there was a place called Wall Street. Wall Street was in the middle of the city. You had to get into a dodgy lift, 8 floors up.
You can't go there, Zach.
No.
But no, because there was no stairs. There was no, and and it was just open up, and it was just a floor like an office block floor, and it was just full on party, and it was like 5 in the morning.
That sounds sick
It
though,
was-
like an office
That
block.
honestly sounds cool.
It was in an like seriously above you. They probably had I don't know someone at the office above you, office below you. But at the night time, and it said at 5 in the morning, it was just going off because it was nowhere else was sort of closed after we
And
cleaned
you
our
can be as
bars.
loud as you want there too. That'd be sick.
It was scary as shit, dude, because there was some scary people in there.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
When you think about the
It
only
was
people
fun.
partying at 5 a.m. in the
Yeah,
morning,
and it
like
was
going home.
packed. But a lot of it was like the only way you could get up there was this lift.
Yeah.
You couldn't take the fire stairs because it set off alarms and stuff like that. I'm sure people did. But the lift up, man, I went into there a few nights and it was just open. The lift opened up and there was just blood all over the lift.
Fuck.
You turn around and go, it's that sort of night. And
Shit.
or it was. But the beauty of what it was doing and working, as I said, in the underground of that was we knew everybody.
Yeah.
We knew all the other
It wasn't as
clubs
busy
and stuff
back
like
now
that. And we
either.
were, and I loved working the underground. Eventually got up into the bars. And it was just so much fun because it would be where people come. And the club, it was the only other club that actually, when the guy came over, he started up and it was actually, he had to be over 21.
Yeah.
It had to be over 21, unless you were female, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because that's just the rule.
Just had to have big boobs,
You know,
bro.
that's it. But and then it was the place where people just came and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And serving drinks and it was probably, to be honest with you, it was just some of the best fun I ever had in a job I've ever had. And because I didn't have to worry about going to find the party because the party was coming to us. And I had my best mate James there at the time, and another guy named Jason and Robbie and all those sort of guys. And we would just, and as I said, it was broken up. You had a massive big main bar where the DJ was and about 4 or 5 other people serving. Then you had a little corner, and in that little corner was the back, what they call the stage bar. It was just 2 people, and you just worked your ring off, and that's where we were. That's where you wanted to work. It was just so much fun, and we had a lot of the Greeks and the Italians and all that sort of stuff coming from partied hard, man. And they were
all those families, hey.
all those families, and a lot of them worked at the markets, man. I tell you that. But they were just people.
Definitely
were there,
heard of a few of them.
Fucking
people were there for a good time, and I met some really nice people. And you know, and as long as you served them these drinks and all that sort of stuff, it was just
Everyone's
a good vibe.
good.
Everyone was great. Loved it. You know.
Yeah.
Had a few blues. I didn't.
Yeah, I
have
said
to-
now I've heard stories about a few blues. The time I think it was some NRL players.
I'm not going to mention names.
I think you should.
No, I'm not going to.
No, you can't.
I can't. I'm not, first up, not mentioning names, but back in those days, a certain one NRL team that was in Brisbane. You know,
Just tell us the year,
Yeah.
mate, and we'll know.
as I said,
The
you
captain
think-
of the
Nah.
1988.
We'll put it in full disclosure.
It was this
right?
team that played in Brisbane.
Yeah,
they played in the
they still-
NRL.
they stayed in there.
I'm not too sure who they
Anyway.
were.
It rhymes with Alan.
This is where they're thankful that I'm so thankful that they don't have these things around when I was there.
Oh yeah, these
It
have
was
ruined
bad
everything.
enough. It was bad enough at the time. And,
Could you
and-
imagine?
And a group of them came up, and they got in fights and all that sort of stuff, bounces, and you know whether after wins and losses, and they just went on a bit of a run and all that sort of stuff, and it was bad. But as I said, you wanted them still coming to your club at that stage. It was a promotion and all that sort of thing. But our security were just so professional and really good because they weren't allowed. Our security were not allowed to hit anybody.
Yeah.
Their rules was it's subdue, whatever, but you're not allowed to hit anybody, which is really hard for these guys because all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And as I said, they copped a flogging this night from this group back in those days. And then and at that time I was like I said, I'm like 120 kilo now, man. Back then I was about 100 kilos skinny, ridden a rake, and not a healthy person. And we, what we'd do is after we finished our work on a Sunday night sort of thing, we'd go to like City Rowers because they were still open. We'd finish at 3, they'd still open to 5, and we knew everybody there. So we'd rock in, and so the week before there'd been this massive brawl, and I've got on my work shirt, my underground shirt, and I'm standing at the bar and all that sort of stuff, half hammered, and all of a sudden I turn around and here's this, as I said, they're all very well-known players for that team at that time.
Yeah.
And turned around and this guy just goes to me, he goes, and he was short, he goes, "Oh, you work at that scumbag place underground. We flogged you guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm about to give you a flog and blah, blah, blah." Again, I've gone, and I'm not a fighter, man. I got 2 drinks in my hand. I was going, "Oh, man, I don't care. You know, I don't want to know about it." And then all of a sudden, you know, one of his mates walks over and, yeah. And then all of a sudden, they stopped. I couldn't work out what was going on. I turned around behind me, and all the security that they had fought the week before when they were right behind me, which were my guys, because we'd all gone there to party.
Yeah.
And all I did was just like that Homer Simpson episode. I just back into the said, have at it.
Just smile and wave, boys.
Have at it, going, "Hey guys, you want to
Yeah,
go?
you do,
These are the boys that got you touched
Not
up.
me,
not
baby."
When you had it wasn't, and they weren't the guys that actually touched them up. They were just big and
Yeah,
brave at the time. So I just back, and then as I said, the security, because the security all know each other. The security from that particular club came over and said, "You two have got to go."
Yeah.
It wasn't us. We didn't get kicked out. You got to go. You know, it's time to go. All right. So that's gonna. So
Was it Alfie? It was Alfie, wasn't it?
I was thinking that it had to
Fucking
be.
Alfie, because you
When-
said short.
When he said
okay.
short and he
No,
played for
when he
Brisbane,
said short,
I was like, yo, it
I'm
has to
gonna
be
be
that
real.
guy.
I'm gonna be real. I think names don't give a fuck. Like, I think names are fine.
Yeah.
Plus, great clickbait.
no. He was not the instigator in this particular.
But it was him, though. He was there.
He
It
was
was that,
he
it
was
was
in
that
the
team
background.
I'm thinking about.
It was that
He was in the
voice he put on,
background.
too. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, get out of there.
But he was fine. Look, to be honest with you, we had dealings with them after all that sort of stuff, and they were fine. No dramas at all. Like we had so many Origin and sort of.
It's just
players
footy
come
boys
in.
that flare up every now and then.
I tell you who one of the. I'll tell you. I'll drop
They
this,
still
I'll-
flare up.
I'll drop this name. The guy that came in that was really good and partied him, and it was a massive sad loss to the football community. Was Peter Jackson. As I said, unfortunately, he sort of, not with us anymore. But one of the nicest guys, him and Sam Bacco, two of the nicest guys. Sort of, and they would, as I said, they'd come in and play and party and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Jacko was had some dealings with him a fair few times, and as I said, he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's obviously sad what happened to him, but and all what he did and all that sort of thing. So again, that was just a one-off. As I said, it seemed to go in little spates. You hear about it, and back in those days, again, we didn't have these things, and and that's where I don't understand this day and age. You see these guys getting themselves in trouble when they go out.
What about the NRL guy?
Everybody's got a camera.
What about the NRL guy back ages ago, and he was like caught fucking pissing in his own mouth?
That's Todd Carney. Todd Carney.
Yeah.
Bro, fuck that guy,
Nothing
bro.
to do with me. I'm
Well,
thinking-
bubbling, yeah.
So it's
The
not.
bubbler.
I'm not even mad at him. I'm just mad at his friends.
It's like, why are you filming and posting that
Who's
shit?
filming? Who's letting
You're
that-
not mad
at
Who's
him?
let-
Why are you drinking your own pee, bro? Why aren't you mad at him,
but
bro?
he-
What?
but he got
trust
in
me,
trouble
those
before
NRL
that.
Mad Monday stories are and they're all like that.
Yeah.
But the rule is meant to be, you're not allowed phones.
No.
You shouldn't be. You go to an exclusive
Yeah.
party
You
and you
don't
should
be-
just
You're
not.
obviously not surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah, man.
Or do it. I mean, Mitchell Pearce is another one. You sort of. That's
What did he do?
It's
Didn't
just
he-
those
didn't he
stupid
fuck the dog?
stories. Well,
No, didn't he have sex in
No,
the
No.
bunk?
No, he didn't. The story was that he mimicked and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just who you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
When you got, and again, I sort of half feel for these guys or not, but someone like those two particular guys we just mentioned, they'd had a run of getting themselves in trouble. So it's not
Yeah,
like, and they were experienced, and not,
Yeah.
There's a few more, but yeah, so that was good. Had a few more brawls. So we went out. One night, I was down at the bar, and this lady this guy hit this lady, and I never jumped the bar at all because I wasn't allowed to. That was one night. She got hit, jumped the bar,
Yep.
grabbed him, and then again, before I knew it, security were onto him and dragged him out. I didn't sort of have to do anything, and the security again took him out and
Flogged him,
did their
surely.
thing. No, well, I didn't see, so hopefully, I saw one guy give one guy a beating one night. Not bad, but just he can't be doing that to the girls.
No, fuck no.
It just doesn't matter. I don't care what your situation is. You can't be doing that. It's control. You got to,
You expected to get punched by someone if
Yeah.
you're doing that to someone.
But it was
girl, bro.
it was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. And then
And then in that time, obviously, you met the wonderful Amy.
Amy,
My
mum came in. Now this will be my version.
I'm about to say,
wants
there's
to-
two different versions here. I've heard
She wants
two.
to defend herself. You got to come and sit in the chair. Okay. Good luck with that one.
Come on, mum. Come on, mum.
Hey, man, that's pretty good.
Mum hates
she's
tracking
not,
cameras.
she's not a big fan of any of this. She loves watching. She's a watcher.
No, she's number one fan.
She's a watcher.
She's definitely the number one.
No, so Mum was working at a nightclub as well called Rosie's and all that sort of stuff. At a lot of the day stuff, a lot of the night stuff. So she was there, and so she would come in a lot. But she come in and just for some reason caught my eye one night because she was your mum and all that sort of stuff. And at that stage, I had getting phone numbers and barman and all that sort of stuff wasn't hard. And I did have a girlfriend at the time and all that sort
What's
of
her
stuff.
name?
Nope.
Smart, Jason.
Because mum messaged me about this person.
Yeah, did
Nope.
she? I'll not mention her.
No. Mum wants you to talk about her.
I'm not telling her.
Mum
about
wants.
that.
Mum wants.
No,
I literally just texted her. I was like, "What was his name?" Because I was gonna bring her up, but apparently she was a bit batshit.
Which one? No.
Yeah, Jason, which one? Yeah, Jason.
No,
My man was a player. yo.
the family, there was a family, so I'm not going to get into a family full of females, and they were again good value, but you know, it was-
You dated a whole family?
no, no.
Like mother, like father, like son.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
Jake.
shit.
Shout out to Jake. Yeah. So and she came in one night. She was there. She had a boyfriend.
She was a player.
She was a
too.
bit of a player herself, as I said, but a respectful player. Don't get me wrong.
She knew her worth.
She knew her worth. So she came in and just got mine. I pursued her for a while. Actually, true story is, we had matchboxes back in those days. So I'd just write I used to just give me a number.
Yep.
So your girls would give you their number, and you'd just have them there and all that sort of stuff.
Trade in
And so did you.
matchboxes.
I gave Amy. I said, "I'll write your number down here." Gave Amy the number, and she went away for a little bit and came back and said, threw it at me and said, "No, you give me yours," you know, sort of thing. So she's not getting that sort of thing, and she played. So she did give me the number, and then to her surprise, I pretty much rang the next day. You know, sort of thing. Those are the days where you didn't have these. You had a phone connected to the actual wall.
Hey,
all that
Mr.
sort of
Collery,
thing.
is Amanda there?
No, I think it was Mr.
Byrne?
No, Lizzie.
Oh,
He answered the
Lizzie
phone.
answered.
Lizzie was a fan at the time. I
Don't know about that.
don't know about now. Anyway, so yeah, and then pursued Mum for a while, and took him a few months.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sort of thing.
Jason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of took a few months. And
But by the way, I can vouch. That's not the fucking story. No, I know that's not the fucking story because I've heard the story 30,000 times from both of you guys. It's a similar story, but it's not. We won't get into
It's
that.
close enough.
But at the same time, I
enough.
know
the one
the
that posted on the
story
internet.
about the first time she went to your house.
Oh,
That's what I want to hear.
so. I was living with my brother. The house was. We were not clean humans at all. We didn't not clean people in relation to.
We're dudes, man.
As I said,
We're dudes.
That's how it goes.
when I say that, I just all my closets and all that sort of stuff were just filthy. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to cook dinner for this lady. So I thought,
Fancy
that's
guy.
That's it. I remember I cooked the roast chicken and all that sort of stuff, and fed it great. Came over and all that sort of stuff, and we had a good dinner and everything like that. And she came up to me at the end of it, and she said, "If you ever want me to come back here again, you've got to clean your toilet." Guess what? Clean the toilet. Toilet's been clean ever since.
Yeah. my mum loves a clean house.
She does love a clean house. So these boys grew up
Chores, bro.
chores.
Every
This guy's grew up with
Saturday.
consequences. From the age of about 10, he's been washing his own clothes. And pretty
Paying
much...
my own rent too.
Yep. Yeah, we'll pay your rent too.
Since I was
Cleaning the consequences.
like 14.
So yeah, but that's what I met. That's what I met Amy through there, and then we had that was
And then you had
nightclubs, and it was really good. Had a good time. We both had a really good time, and
obviously you guys got together and met the family
Yeah.
or whatever. After that, you had.
I took Amy to meet your grandparents. I don't know if you.
I haven't heard this story,
Okay, so I
no.
took Amy's growing up in Armidale again. There's nothing wrong. It's all got running water and all that sort of stuff.
It's got running water. Fuck
I
me,
hope
bro.
So what I told Amy, when we go down, she'd met Mum and Dad. We're going down to meet Mum and Dad. But I said, just don't be freaked out when Mum says you got to, like, we're having chicken for dinner. She's going to go out and she's going to cut the head off it and pluck it, and you're going to see the whole thing. And that's how we grew up. Don't go and jump in the hot water. Don't go and jump in the shower straight away because you've got to go out to stoke the fire, heat it up, and all that sort of stuff. And then everything like that. So I just had it. And it was it's a 6-hour drive. So I'm just doing this the whole way. She'd already met Mum and Dad. Doing this the whole way. Of course, you rock up. I lived in a really nice house in Armidale. There was none of that shit. She just rocked up and said, "You're a prick."
I was about to say, I'm thinking, I'm like, these motherfuckers are not. I don't know.
She just rocked up to this nice house and she said, "You absolute prick." You know?
That's
the whole way there, she's
funny.
Mum's not a girly girl at all. She
no,
loves
not a girly
She loves
girl at all.
fishing. She loves all that kind of stuff.
she's
But
disappointing.
she likes to be comfortable.
Like
Yeah,
she wants,
yeah.
she
She
wants the hot
loves to be
shower
comfortable.
and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Anyway, so that's when
That's
that
funny.
was sort of met Mum, turned to meet parents.
And then after that, you had your first
Yeah.
your first son,
So
which had a bit of
so
trouble with.
Jake's son number one, favourite son. He
yeah.
was So as I said,
Jake is the
you
best.
guys are like
the
24,
fuck?
25.
sorry. I just want to say who was playing, who wasn't.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I
Hang
can't
on,
remember.
bitch.
I was drunk at the
Hey,
time.
man.
I was probably drunk at the time.
Probably.
So Amy, I quit nightclubs by that stage, and I think I was a courier and all that sort of thing. Done couriering by then, and then Jake came along. He got pregnant. We had actually bought a house, and then
Actually, before you can't say that.
Definitely got to cut that. Stop saying it.
Yeah, okay, we'll stop that.
127.
You don't even live.
Don't leave.
You
Right next
don't
to the
even
balls.
live there at the moment.
Don't do that. Anyway, so we bought the house, and then basically 2 weeks before we were due to move in, we found out that Amy was pregnant. As I said, she was 23, I was 24, and then pretty much, that was Jake was due the next year, say around April, but he was born 26 weeks. He was born at 24 weeks. So yeah, he was born 1 pound, 1 pound 4 ounces.
Really?
He got fit in the palm of your hand.
It was a massive.
That's crazy.
It was a massive. As I said, I was.
He was younger than us.
I was
Like,
20. I was 24.
Yeah.
As I said, and I was a courier, living our life, could handle pregnancy and all that sort of stuff. And then, unfortunately, Amy was going to work one day. She had a headache. She used to work in a television and production place in the city. Right where the Marta is now. Actually, used to work underneath it. Right there, the Marta wasn't there at this stage. It was the Marta mother was there, but the new part wasn't.
Oh, the children's or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, she used to work there. Anyway, so she was on her way to work, had a headache, basically went to work, went to the doctors. The doctors did some tests and said, listen, you got to get a... She basically rang me. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. She's like, the doctor said I've got to go straight to the ambulance and all that sort of thing. She said no. It's pretty much what Amy does. She goes, I'm taking myself home first. I'll ring my husband. And at that date, again, there was no landlines or anything like that, but I had a two-way in my car. My work just messaged me, hey, you got to get home. So, Amy got home, as I said, 10 minutes down the road. Remember rocking up, she said, oh, this is the story. This is not good. We rocked into the hospital about 10 o'clock. They said, this baby might have to be born now. We said, well, hang on a sec. It's like he was at 20, just on 24 weeks.
And this is also, 27 years ago?
27 years ago now.
This is like well before
Right.
any
Well before any-
proper like medication or nothing.
Freaking, and as I said, man, I pretty much when Jake, I gave up smoking pot more or less. I'd been smoking pot for 10 years.
Yeah.
I pretty much gave up when Jake, that was my shock.
Yeah.
When again, okay, Jake's been born. I knew that I had to be responsible and all that sort of stuff. And as I said, it wasn't a massive part of my life, but it was a consistent part. That shocked me. That sort of stopped pretty much right then.
Yeah.
At that point, walked in, went to the doctors. Doctor said this might have to happen by 12 o'clock today. Said, hang on. Basically, they gave Amy 24 hours, and in that 24 hours, they gave her for the two shots of steroids, and that was more or less for Jake's lungs.
Yeah.
In that time, I'm watching her just fade away. She was organs were shutting down and all that sort of stuff, and they kept it. The Marta were fantastic. They're just seriously unsung heroes. They're just fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so along it came. 12 hours later, they said, "Okay, we got to go." And Amy said, "Can Jason come in with me?" Because it wasn't going to be a natural birth; it was a C-section. They said, "Yeah, if you want to, no worries." And I went in. They had a sheet up, and my job was just to concentrate on her. What was happening down south there wasn't pretty. And then Amy just looked at me, and she could see like we're being open. She goes, "Don't you look?" she knows I'm a gore. She goes, "Don't you look? I need you." Said, "Okay," and we're just talking to the anaesthesiologist, the guy there, and all that sort of thing. Look over in the corner at one point. They came out and they go, "Your son's been born." They just took him away. They'd already showed me where they were taking him. He's gone. He's gone. And then they had to put Amy back together, which was a big job. But look over in the corner at one stage, and here in the corner, he's this nurse, white as a ghost, had to go and sit down. She was about to collapse. It wouldn't have been pretty, C-sections and all that sort of stuff. Got Amy together. Hadn't cried or really thought about anything at that stage. About just my concentration was her. My whole concentration was her because there was a chance that she was going to die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and I had all the family out waiting, and at that stage, his name is Jake, but at that stage you never know. There's nothing I could do for Amy at that point. They were putting back together, and she was in intensive care for like 3 or 4 days. Mm-hmm. And then they took me to see Jake, and basically they wrapped him in bubble wrap, dude. He was 1 pound 4 ounces, so that's 577 grams. So when you pick up a tub of butter, he was fraction heavier than that. He was 30 centimeters,
Fit in the palm of your hand.
long. Had a head. His head was probably just a fraction smaller than probably a little bit smaller than a tennis ball. Wow. And his skin was transparent, and his eyes were still fused together. He hadn't. That's how. And as I said, at that stage, that they told me at that time he was on the brink of that. Was not. They wouldn't have even tried. He was days away from them not trying.
Yep.
At that stage, the smallest and youngest was a kid. They called the Coca-Cola Kid, I believe. I can't remember his name. And they had photos of him. He was 375 grams, which is what a Coca can. He was that small, and he survived fit and healthy at that. As I said, that was years before Jay came along.
Yeah.
Marta just basically spent that Amy just seriously just spent the next it was months. Obviously we got him home just before Easter, so that was born early December. He was due in end of March. We got him home in April, so more or less 6 months.
Wow.
What about when the priest came in?
Yeah, so I had to go to work after we'd been there for a while. I had to go to work, so the priest.
So they were in hospital.
In
and
the
they didn't know if Jack was going to make it.
Yeah.
How long was he in hospital for? In that box? So he was in an incubation box for
and they covered him in bubble wrap.
ages.
Legitimately, when they came and showed me him the first time, he was covered in bubble wrap because that just keeps him warm.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I never looked at bubble wrap the same ever since.
No
much.
doubt.
He was in hospital, as I said. It was I can't remember the
Like
exact
3
amount.
was it like 3 months
A
long?
minimum, close to 4. As I said, he was born early December, and he came home just before Easter in April, and all that sort of stuff. And that's bringing him home. He came home on oxygen. He was on oxygen for 12 months. We had to have tanks wherever we went, and all that sort of thing. And he was
That's
just a
nuts,
fighter, dude. He was a fighter, and Amy fought with him. As I said, I was support, but those two just fought. Amy, countless hours at the hospital, and she was sitting there one day, and the doctor, and it was a teaching hospital, which I didn't mind. I can live with that because that's what saved Jake. Those people learnt somewhere. But this doctor came in. I called him Dr. Death. He came in when I wasn't there. He came in 3 times and said, "Okay, this is Jake. He's such a told her history." And he goes, "What we'll probably do today is take him off his oxygen because he was getting oxygen." And he said, and Amy goes, "Oh, great. So he's doing really well. So what do they do now?" He said, "No, we'll put him in your arms and he'll pass away."
Jeez.
What?
She got that 3 times.
Like
Yeah.
no sympathy.
So they and he said that, and he just had no sympathy. The way this guy was just terrible. No sympathy or anything like that. So, but again, Amy, and as I said, she just said, well, and she asked the right questions. Any brain bleeds, this, that, and the other. Nothing, none of those sort of stuff. Didn't have any of those conditions or anything like that. She just said pretty much no. So that's it. And and now he's 27.
Now he's like nothing wrong with him at all.
It was a big battle. We had him on oxygen, and
How many brains? 3 brain surgeries?
he's got a shunt in his head because his brain swelled up. Amy picked it again. The doctors didn't listen. This is a year and a bit later.
Yep.
His brain hydrocephalus. His brain was swelling up. He couldn't lift his head off the ground.
Yep.
And all that sort of stuff. And she said, "No, there's something wrong with him. Something wrong." And the doctor wouldn't listen. She basically told the doctor, she rang the doctor and said, "I've just made an appointment with the neurosurgeon. I've just used you as a referral, so give it to me."
Yeah.
Again, that saved his life because now once we had that operation, he said, "Oh, his brain's not, his fluid wasn't draining from his brain properly. Put a shunt in, which he had for the rest of his life.
He's still got now.
And all that sort of stuff. And he's had 1 or 2 revisions of that.
Yeah, but he said in his grade 12, that was his last
grade
brain
12,
surgery.
yeah.
And he fully had his brain surgery, middle of grade 12, had fucking 2 months off school.
Well, he was never. Jake was a really strong kid. He's the kid who didn't like missing school. He didn't think he was going to miss out on something. He always went. He didn't He
didn't complain either.
He would suffer migraines and stuff like that, but wouldn't tell you he'd want to go to school because he just didn't want to miss out.
Yeah.
With bug eyes. Soft. Seriously.
Oh, I've got a sore throat.
I'm going to go boo-boo. Seriously.
I want to go to fucking school.
I got a boo-boo. I go to school.
Yeah, that's
well,
not
maybe
exact.
if you and Jack Boone get out of your room.
Hey.
Why is Jack in that room again? I don't know. He doesn't live here. He's only been here 6 months. In the last 6 months.
Jack did live in my house for
Hey, Jack.
6 months. Yeah.
But yeah, so Jake came along, and as I said, that's a massive big fight for him and a massive big fight
That's
for...
a miracle, man.
Oh, dude.
No, it was a big day. And
Right,
then
yeah.
we actually just recently lost
Yep.
my second cousin / nephew
Yeah.
to exactly the same thing.
Born premature.
Premature.
It really had some flashbacks for me, so...
Yeah, so just
lost
that
it,
was
really sad.
that was
That's scary,
Brandon's
Sorry to
sister.
hear
It
that.
was Brandon's...
Is that hereditary?
No, it was just... This was Amy's...
Yeah,
this was
Brandon's
Amy's...
Yeah.
This, in Amy's case, it was pre-eclampsia. It just happened. There's no rhyme or reason. It just happened.
Yeah.
And then she actually talked me into having buggerlugs over here.
I
I didn't want it. It was scary shit, dude. I was watching her and him die.
Bro, you'd be traumatized after that, man. That's not.
So then she
that's
talked
not
me
easy.
into. She wanted a girl.
She got one.
Yeah, that's it.
Baby.
So he basically what we had to do then was with him. He just pretty much had to monitor him all the time and had to go early but it was scary, So
Of course.
But yeah, so Jake and Amy, shout out. They're just strong.
No, they're strong motherfuckers.
Scary shit. As I said, I'll send you.
No.
Actually,
we'll have photos throughout this whole
I'll send you
too.
some photos of
We'll
Jake
pump
and all that sort of
photos,
stuff.
everything like
You'll
that.
see what he means in the crib, how small he was.
Yeah.
Of course. 100%.